I respect Andy Warhol, but I'm not going to let him shave my mustache off for his amusement and for a couple of pictures. No.
All right, so take me to an earlier Oscars when you mistook Braveheart winning for winning.
So, okay, on Apollo 13, all of a sudden, this movie that we didn't think was going to be commercially successful is enormously successful. The movie got 9 Oscar nominations, the most important Oscar nominations. And everyone said, you're gonna win the Oscar. And I'm positive I'm gonna win now. And I've written my speech, it's in my tuxedo pocket on the left side. I'm certain I'm gonna win. Every odds maker in the world has said Apollo 13 is gonna win. So I'm looking at Sidney Poitier right in front of me, and he says, and the winner is, opens it up slowly. I'm like at the edge of my chair and I see what looks like a bee rolling off his lip. And I'm thinking, I just thought it was me, saying Brian. And I got up to get the Oscar, and they say Braveheart. And this was literally so embarrassing, because I'm standing in the aisle when he says Braveheart.
And he did start to get up. I was right next to him, and it was Braveheart, and he just slumped. We were both just stunned.
And there's, Ron and Tom Hanks are next to me, and the further seat out is Jim Lovell, the actual astronaut. And he reached across them and grabbed my wrist and said, I never made it to the moon either. And that just put the whole thing in a bigger perspective. Again, wasn't very funny, but it was really truthful.
Didn't a studio exec too, like, give you the...
Oh yeah, the studio exec that actually, went like, loser on my forehead when I looked back up, like that. Only 40 million people were seeing it.
A few years later, A Beautiful Mind is nominated for Best Picture. I'm nominated for Best Director. And I saw Mel Gibson at a party a couple of nights before. And he said, I'm going to give you an Academy Award in a couple of nights. I said, how do you know that? He said, oh, I know it. And he said it with a little glint in his eye, like, it doesn't matter what's on the paper, pal. You're getting the award. Well, he did call out my name. I went up there, gave my speech, and on the way out, I said, okay, show me the card. And he laughed and showed me, and it was my name. Now it's Tom Hanks. Our great friend, Tom Hanks, is announcing the winner of Best Picture, and it's us. And so we go up, and I think Brian did most of the talking on that one. And we turned around, we walked off stage. They said, wait here, and then we're going to take you to the press room to do interviews. And my stomach suddenly started to hurt so bad. It was just burning. And he said, do you want a Tums? And I said, yeah. He reached in, pulled out a Tums. Here we are, 2 tuxedos, Oscars, and he's handing me a Tums. And it was sort of our version of the old Lifesaver commercial, 2 pals sitting here sucking on some Tums.
You said you guys work well together because you never tell one another what to do.
Yeah.
Explain that.
We don't use declarative sentences really on each other. We don't fight. We're very respectful, and that's what makes partnerships work, respect. If there's a movie he wants to direct and I don't want him to, I think it'd be a big mistake. I just go, no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend you doing it, but I could never say don't do it because you've earned through all of your hits to do what you want. Or if I don't like a movie score, he's had 2 movie scores I didn't like at all. I hated one of them. I thought it stopped the momentum of the film, like destroyed it. And so normally I just go, I don't know. And that means, he knows that means I don't like it.
We want honest answers. And we give honest answers. But if our honest answer is no, or I don't love that project, and the other one says, boy, I really do love it, then there's never a question. We're all in for each other and for those projects, because I don't think either of us wants to limit the other. And we also, I think we have enough humility to know we could really be wrong.
How well do you recall your first meeting with him and the fact that he really didn't want to be there?
I can remember it vividly. So basically, Ron Howard, I was meeting in person every single day, and I didn't get my quota of having that one person. I looked out my window and I see Richie Cunningham, Ron Howard. I yell out the window, Ron Howard, like that. And he just darted away from me. I mean, it makes sense. I scared him. And then I called his office, said to his assistant, Louisa, what went down. And she said, well, I'm sure I could get him to call you. And then he did. And then he came into my office. And I just remember it was like this golden aura around him. And I thought, wow, this guy is a special person.
And you said you decided almost immediately that you were going to bet on him.
Yeah, that I would bet on him.
I was showing promise. I was getting offered some projects, but they were very poor, weak ideas, terrible. And Brian came along with a real idea, an idea of his own, and the ability to open doors and get us meetings that I wasn't otherwise getting, and get real consideration. By the time we got through Splash, I don't think either of us felt like rookies anymore. And the business didn't treat us that way. I think by then we were the comers. We were the next wave. And we kind of started talking about almost merging our companies or doing something together, even back on Splash, and redefining our place in the business. And it was a gutsy but exciting idea. But we just felt that 1 + 1 could be 3.